Our contemporary cinema is filled with missiles, time-traveling machines, wizards, and superheroes capable of eliminating hordes of villains with small gadgets. Have you ever felt tired of this situation? Have you ever wished to watch a calm movie? A film that could accompany you without flashy effects and bring a simple and peaceful world into your home? The film Holdovers is precisely created for this purpose. This film has successfully garnered numerous awards, but today our discussion is not about the film itself. We want to analyze one of its characters, particularly the main character, Mr. Hunham, the notorious and strict school teacher. Mr. Hunham is a character reminiscent of our childhood teachers, a stern educator who seems to dislike children, a grumpy and unfriendly person in the classic and charming world of this film. Paul Giamatti's performance in this film has earned him many accolades, but that's not the sole reason for its appeal. What makes Hunham a likable character? What magic in the cinematic world allows us to appreciate and forgive someone for their bad behavior? Let's go back to the beginning of the film. The movie starts with the calm and beautiful scenes of the school and its surroundings. In the initial scenes, we understand that Christmas is approaching and everyone is happy, except for Mr. Hunham. In the first sweet moments, he receives pastries brought for him, and without paying attention to the personal wishes of the character presenting them, he coldly, dryly, and emptily thanks and returns of his work of correcting papers. Right here, we perceive his gruffness and realize that he might not be a likable or good person. But we are mistaken. Mr. Hunham is someone obligated to stay at this school until the New Year holidays and take care of students who don't return home. Neither the children have a fondness for this person, nor does he desire to spend his holiday with a group of unruly and lazy kids. Now we understand that until the end of the film, we are going to witness a conflict between these two sides. A teacher who has a great interest in Latin and history cannot be a good companion for mischievous and lively students. Paul Giamatti's portrayal vividly embodies a gruff and unpleasant teacher for us. Hunham's bewildered and asymmetrical eyes, his posture, and the way he expresses words all convey a sense of aversion. Aversion towards the teacher who is supposed to fail the entire class with a grade below passing. In this scene, Hunham decides to cancel the exam and pass the students without any merit due to a comment made by one of his students. The student responsible for this incident will be the only one spending the holidays at this school. Now Hunham has to endure Agnes's presence, and Agnes has no choice but to see his unpleasant face. In the midst of this turmoil, the school janitor is also present, who recently lost his young son. The argument between Hunham and the rebellious student begins with a phone call. In this scene, we see a teacher willing to go a long way to discipline his student. The comical pursuit and escape of these two end with breaking Agnes's hand. Everything changed from this moment onwards. Both the teacher and the student become concerned and try to resolve the issue. Agnes, by telling lies, successfully saves his ill-mannered teacher from expulsion, and everything ends well. However, Hunham is not satisfied with this story. Hunham scolds his own student for lying and does not thank him for saving him from the danger of expulsion. Now, in the eyes of the audience, Hunham is even more detested, and everyone wishes for him to have some self-reflection. The relationship between the teacher and the student improves from this stage onward. They get along more easily and they are no longer seeking conflict and fights like before. This continues until Agnes decides to escape from school and go to the hospital to meet his father. Now we consider a new side of Hunham. From this moment on, Hunham transforms into a caring father figure and expresses his emotions. After successfully uncovering one of his students' secrets, Hunham manages to better understand himself. He becomes aware of his mistreatment of others and strives to establish better relationship with those around him. Here we learn various nuanced aspects of his character that reveal more intricate details about him. Hunham, due to a peculiar and strange illness, always emits a foul odor and cannot hide this issue from others. This had led him to live in seclusion, never making any effort to establish relationships with others. Hunham came into the world to be alone and has become accustomed to solitude. He has no interest in having a family, but the reason for this is not his choice, rather it is his inability to form a family. Let's bring the main characters of this film together. An elderly man who is alone, a teenage boy whose family has rejected him and his father who is hospitalized in a mental asylum, finally a caretaker who recently lost her son. Isn't this a family? The gathering of lonely and isolated individuals, especially during Christmas, could be the best thing that happened to them. Gradually, we understand the loneliness of this person and realize that he's not a bad person. Hunham is simply a tired and lonely man who cannot express his emotions properly. He's forced to behave badly towards his students to cover up his own loneliness. During the best holidays of his life, Hunham played the role of father for Agnes and managed to fill the position of a spouse for the school caretaker. He could show his colleagues that he's a teacher and find friends he had longed for all his life. In the final scenes of the film, we confront Agnes's mother and stepfather. They are upset with Agnes's behavior during the holidays and have learned about he visited from the asylum. The cold and selfish family of Agnes wants to send him to military school, leaving him with no escape. This is where one of the most unpleasant teachers of the school plays the role of saving angel for him. By telling lies, he saves his student from the impending doom. Here we witness a teacher learning from his student. Now Hunham has learned to lie and realizes that the world is not as dry and harsh as he thought. Hunham gathers his belongings and leaves the school forever. Classic and old movies often end happily, and this film tries to pay tribute to them. In the last moments of the film, Hunham tells us that he intends to travel. He wants to explore different countries and write his book. A dream life for a man who has born alone and is destined to leave this world alone. However, this time he has two good friends who serve as his chosen family. Hunham has shown us that it doesn't matter how rude or malodorous we are, happiness can still find us. He proved that family is not only about blood ties. That friends who bakes a cake for us once a year is considered our family. The caretaker who watches silly TV shows and talks about them is also considered family. In the end, Hunham taught us how we can have a good family, even if we weren't born into one. What are your thoughts on this film? Did you like the character of Hunham? If you have any suggestions or criticisms, we would be happy to hear them in the future videos. Okay guys, thank you for watching us, please support us and subscribe our channel, and until the next video, goodbye, see you soon.